Can animals communicate? Uh, are there animals in spirit, and can they communicate? So I have to preface this video, like I have others, by noting again that I'm genetically and culturally Latino and Native American. I barely knew my father's side, the European side of my family. Although there are many Europeans married into my mother's side, which was Mexican and indigenous. So I fairly recently, saw a Facebook debate about do animals have souls? And I was surprised that that could even be a discussion, because I just thought everybody knew animals have souls. So I was telling my husband about it, and I laughed and I said, can you imagine looking into an animal's eyes and not recognizing a soul there? And to my huge surprise, my husband, who is from the Midwest, said, I'm pretty sure that most of the people that I grew up around would tell you that animals do not have souls, that only people do. And I thought he was kidding until I saw the look on his face. I have done a little over 700 readings at this point, and exactly 7 times out of more than 700, I have connected with an animal. So a little less than 1%. Not common for me. There are people, like I know a woman who gets animals a lot. I know another woman who gets food references a lot. We all have quirks in our mediumship. Getting animals is not one of my quirks. So I've connected with a horse, 3 dogs, a cat, a cow, and a parrot, because I keep notes on all of my readings. And typically, in most of those examples, what had happened was I connected with the animal, and immediately there was a person with them, and it was the person who was communicating. The 2 exceptions to that both happened at the end of a reading. In one, the one with the cow, I had gotten a woman in spirit. She was a relative of my sitter. Got a whole bunch of stuff about her, and then I was suddenly aware of a cow. Well, I didn't know if it was a bison or a cow. I knew it was a large 4-hooved beast, and so I said that to the person I was reading for, and she said, "Oh, the person you're connected with grew up on a dairy farm." So I understand her referencing a cow. I said, "I'm not getting references like references to a barn, references to a cow. I actually have a cow with me. Like there's a cow with this woman in spirit." So I thought that was really interesting. And then the other one was a dog. Also, at the end of a reading, I thought I was about to be dropped. I had this dropped feeling when they're done with me. And instead, this dog leaped into my lap. I could feel its tail wagging. And I said, oh my goodness, I have a dog with me all of a sudden. And the dog, and she, which was sort of, my client was a woman, she was taken aback a little bit. I said, this is a recent passing, because she just looked like wide-eyed and shocked. She said, yeah. I said, okay, well, this morning, the morning of this reading, I had just seen an interview of the actor Tom Holland playing with his dog, Tessie. And they kept doing a voiceover while they were showing him playing with this dog. And she could not understand Tom or Tessie. So I said, well, so I guess you were recently watching videos of this dog, because I'm playing my own memories of watching this video of Tom Holland and his dog. And she teared up. She said, yeah, we've been binge watching videos, because she just passed. So the dog showed me that a very particular way that they used to sit on the couch, and that they had several things. These are things I remember, and that they went by nicknames. So there was an official name for the dog, but they called it by a nickname that was a play off of that official name. And it was the dog communicating that. It was really interesting. And that's the only time an animal has done the communicating. So very rare for me. So if you want to, or are going to go to a medium, because a lot of people go to mediums because they want a person, they want their mom, they want their grandfather, they want whoever, a particular person. But if you're going because you want an animal, first of all, that's a possible thing. But I have to tell you, I would ask the medium before making the appointment, do you get animals, and how often do you get animals? So I would not be a good match for you in that case. But there are people, well, there's one in particular that I know that does get animals a lot. And I have to say this, when a person passes, it is normal to have a mixture of happy and sad memories of them, a mixture of good and bad memories and feelings for someone who has passed. That's normal. When an animal passes, it's almost always entirely good feelings, entirely happy memories, and that makes the loss excruciating. The loss of an animal can easily be as difficult as the loss of a person. And a lot of people who have never loved an animal that much or in that way, they don't get it, and they're never going to get it. Don't bother trying to convince them or explain to them, especially if you're in grief over the loss of an animal. Unless they've loved in that way, they just aren't going to understand you. But I do want to say there's nothing weird about you. It's a really common thing to be hit hard by the loss of an animal. Next week, I'm going to talk about skeptics and cynics, because I'm kind of fed up with that group. So I'm going to talk about that. And until then, thank you for watching this time, and see you next time.